Isaiah, he asked, how long do you think Kittle will be with the Niners? They're going to, listen, don't worry about George Kittle. He's going to re-sign. They're going to give him a new contract here very, very soon. Everyone's saying it's going to happen sooner rather than later. He'll sign a new 4 or 5 year deal. He'll be a 49er basically for life, barring injury, knock on wood, or something else bad happening. I'm not worried about George Kittle leaving at all. He's going to get the biggest contract in terms of tight end in NFL history. It'll be $12, $13, $14 million. And I think he's going to be in love with the 49ers and be a 49er for the rest of his career. Okay, there's a deal that I have scoured the internet for, and I have just for you 49er fans. Chatsports.com/49 jersey. The link's in the description right now. 25% off today. These jerseys, authentic NFL Nike stuff. This is the real deal, 25% off. So when Kittle resigns, which he's going to do very, very soon, you can celebrate with a brand new George Kittle jersey. The red one looks so sweet, and it's 25% off. It's a crazy good deal right now. It's like $25 off a $100 jersey if you do the math right for a George Kittle jersey. The link is in the description box right now. Catsports.com/49 jersey. Okay, back to our comments here. We'll go to C-Rec, who asks, you think we need an O-lineman at 13, or do you agree with me that the backups from last season filled in well, so we're all good? Yeah, I would agree with you. I wouldn't take one at number 13 overall. There are bigger positions of need and better players overall, like wide receivers. We talked about that on this show a little bit earlier. So no, I wouldn't take a lineman at number 13. I'd be surprised if the 49ers did take a lineman at number 13. The only way they would take a lineman at number 13 overall is if Joe Staley abruptly retired. That's like the only way I see this happening, which he's not going to because he said he's not. So then no, I would not go ahead and take I would not take a lineman at number 13. Okay, moving on here. Get some more questions going on here as we're cruising for. Robert asks, you think Soloman Thomas will step up this year like Armstead did? No, I do not think that he will. I think Soloman Thomas is a lost cause. I think we should trade Soloman Thomas, and maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. Ronald Blair, DJ Jones could fill in at that defensive tackle spot. Thomas is fine. He's a fine player. He's a really good backup, but he's never going to be starter quality. I think he needs a change of scenery with a new team to go ahead and try and, figure out what's going on. A third overall draft pick cannot be this big of a bust. It's looking like he's going to go ahead and be a bust. Also, follow me on Twitter, @RealThomasMont. We talk 49ers on my Twitter handle all the time. You see it right there. @RealThomasMont on Twitter is the place to do it. I should see a lot of you guys. Go follow me right now. I'm going to start seeing if people are going to follow me @RealThomasMont on Twitter. Okay, what impact is Travis Benjamin going to make? New wide receiver signing by our 49ers? I wouldn't get too excited about the Travis Benjamin signing. I think he's basically going to be a guy who's going to get more playtime than Marquise Goodwin and Kendrick Bourne. But he's not going to be, wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2. Wide receiver 1 next year is Samuel. Wide receiver 2 is going to be Jalen Hurd. Wide receiver 3 is either going to be Bourne or, I guess, Benjamin, or whatever rookie wide receiver you can go ahead and sneak in there with the number 13 overall draft pick. So I like the addition of Travis Benjamin. I think it's fine. I was okay with it. It's cheap. It's a 1-year deal, but don't think that he's going to be some massive impact player. He'll probably catch, 500, 600 yards, have 3 touchdowns, 60 catches, maybe 40 catches. Actually, it's probably a little more realistic. So it's fine, but I wouldn't get too excited about it overall. This next question, you guys are going to love because it's Frank Gore related, but I also, I don't see it happening. Do you see Frank Gore coming back to the 49ers? No, I don't. Now, do I want him to come back? Yeah, if they signed a 1-year deal with Frank Gore right now, I'd be ecstatic. But as we talked about earlier, the running back depth chart is packed right now. And maybe if you got rid of Breida and you got rid of Tevin Coleman and you wanted to run Mostert, McKinnon, Wilson, and Gore, then sure. But there's too many running backs, and all our running backs are way younger than Frank Gore. And I know Frank Gore is as good as they come and one of the greatest of all time, but it's just not worth it with our running back situation that we have right now. All right, keep going. A couple more questions here as we're gonna roll on. Let's see. I don't know how to say it. Cake Boy asks, should the San Francisco Miners pursue a guy like Damon Harris or Everson Griffen? I'd rather have Griffen over Snacks Harrison. Snacks Harrison's more of a D tackle. I think Griffen would be a good rotational pass rusher. Is the fact that his free agency market, he's former Viking, by the way, played alongside Danielle Hunter, but he's like 33 years old. He's very, very old. That's why he hadn't been signed yet. 6 sacks last year, still a very good player. He'd be a good rotational pass rusher here, especially if Ford got injured like he did this past season. I just am wondering why no one else has signed him. That gives me a lot of red flags. Snacks Harrison has never really been as good as he once was whenever he was the starting nose tackle of the New York Giants. Both these guys are fine. Sign either one of them for the right price, I'd be okay with it, but I'd rather have Griffen over Harrison. But I don't think the Miners, wink, wink, are going to go ahead and get either of those guys. Okay, moving on. Next question here. Kid Tricksta. What do you think the 49ers record will be in 2020? Let's see. We've talked about this before. I think they're going to be right about 11 wins. Now, I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. I think 11 wins is the most likely for San Francisco because we want to be realistic of the division. We talked about this. Seattle won 11 games last year. The Cardinals took us to the wire in both of their games. They're going to get a lot better. They have freaking DeAndre Hopkins. They're insanely good. And then, of course, you have the Rams, who can never be counted out with Sean McVay and Jared Goff and the defense that they have with Aaron Donald. So I would say 11 wins. I think we still win the NFC West, but I don't think it's going to be a 13 or 14 win season. See, a lot of guys are saying 14-2, 12-4, 16-0. Although that's us saying that right there. 13-3. We got to be realistic with our 49ers just because the division is so hard. Arizona is going to be very, very good next year. Arizona might be a wild card team in our division. We could see 3 NFC West teams go into the postseason with the new expanded postseason from 12 to 14 teams as well. So I'd say 11 wins. I think 11-5 is very, very likely. 12-4 maybe. I think 11-5 makes the most sense. Great question though there, kid. Next question here. XF Frisco. Who is personally your favorite player on the 49ers? It's honestly right now, it's Nick Bosa. I think Bosa, I talked about this so much last year during the draft that, when we draft Nick Bosa, don't expect him to be that great because as good as he's going to be, whenever you draft defensive ends, they don't really produce in year one. And that was based off of history. Like history shows, first-round defensive ends don't get a lot of sacks. Nick Bosa blew that out of the water. The guy was unreal. Double-digit sacks his rookie year. He's my favorite. I love the swagger that he brings. I'm also a very big fan of Jalen Hurd because I covered him at Baylor. I went to school while he was at school. I mean, I'm a big Jalen Hurd fan as well, but that's more of a personal reasons. To me, my favorite player, Nick Bosa, 100%. Who's your guys' favorite player right now in terms of the 49ers? Someone says Bosa and Sherman. Kittle, yeah, kind of, oh man, Kittle's tough to do. Kittle, Bosa, Jimmy G. The good news is for our 49ers, we have a ton of players to pick from in terms of your favorite 49er player overall. Kittle. Fred Warner, yeah, Fred Warner, underrated player on San Francisco who's honestly very, very good. Okay, Justin, he asked, do you think Kyler Murray faces a sophomore slump? No, I think Kyler Murray has a monster year next year. Think about what they have. If they draft a running back, which they probably will, and they get another offensive lineman to protect Kyler Murray, they have the best wide receiver core in the NFL. We say it again. If their wide receiver core might be the best in the NFL. Hopkins, Fitzgerald, who for whatever reason never ages and is still good. Christian Kirk. They have another deep threat in the slot whose name has escaped me. I think Kyler Murray has a very good year, which is why I said that you don't need to go ahead and give us 13 or 14 wins because we got to play the Cardinals twice, the Seahawks twice, and the Rams twice as well. I think we trade up in the draft to go get Okudah, the cornerback out of Ohio State. No, I do not think that we do because we just don't really need to trade up for a guy like Okudah. Now, Okudah is the best cornerback in the draft, and we talked about this on a previous video, how he will be gone inside of the top 10. So the second best corner is C.J. Henderson out of Florida. I'm fine with him at like 31 overall, but I just don't see cornerback being that big of a need. If we're going to trade up for anybody, the only person I would trade up for would be Chase Young. And we don't need Chase Young, but he's the only player, in my opinion, that could really make a massive difference on the 49ers. Okudah is going to be great. He'd be fine. I would be happy if he fell to number 13, but he's not going to. I would stay put and either take the wide receiver Lamb or Judy, or I would trade back and get a different wide receiver because right now, wide receiver is really the only big need the 49ers have. I mean, sure, you can make our offensive line, defensive line. The main need of the 49ers after losing Emmanuel Samuel has got to be wide receiver overall. Okay, and obviously here's your depth chart because of it, because you got Samuel, Goodwin, Bourne. I mean, you don't have a lot of great wide receivers left. All right, before we go ahead and close, help us get to 20,000 subs. You guys are sitting at home, right? You're washing your hands. You know, you're being safe. You want to watch a lot more 49er videos. Help us out here by getting us to 20,000 subs overall. We are very, very close. I mean, we're growing at a crazy fast rate. It's all because of you guys. I greatly appreciate it. But click the red subscribe button down below. That way we can continue to grow overall.